Today we are busting the myth that you have to be a Shakespeare-level expert or an English literature professor to speak good English. If you are already at a level B2, guess what? You are in a great spot. But what does it mean, good English, or to speak good English? Let's dive in. Hey everybody, how's it going? Thiago here, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. In case you're new here, I've created this podcast and YouTube channel to help intermediate and advanced learners of English communicate with more confidence, more accuracy, more clarity, and more awareness. If this sounds like something you want for yourself and your English, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube and follow the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you don't miss a single new episode. Registrations for my conversation club are still open, but they officially close tonight at midnight, BRT, okay? So this is your last chance for you to join this group now if you are interested in practicing your English conversation with me and other learners on a live call once a week. We're going to be together for 4 months from August to November. So you still have today to join, but after today, the registrations will close and then you're going to have to wait until next year. Link is in the description for you to learn more about it, in the pinned comment below, and also in the show notes if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Also, don't forget to learn more about my pronunciation course. Maybe you can't join the Conversation Club now. You can check out the course. The course is a recorded course designed to help you learn pronunciation, connected speech, and it's available at a very special price on pre-sale. All the links you can find here under the video and also in the show notes. All right, so what is good English? Guys, I call B2 level the sweet spot. You know, B2 level for me can already be considered good English. If you are a B2 speaker of English, I would say as a teacher that you already have good English, that you speak good English. And what is B2 again? This level means that you can understand complex texts, discuss a wide range of topics already, and express yourself with pretty good fluency. Not excellent fluency maybe, but pretty good fluency, okay? And why is this level enough for most situations? Well, think about it. Most native speakers you encounter don't use super fancy vocabulary all the time. Clear communication in these situations is what counts most of the time. And even native speakers aren't perfect either, okay? Even native speakers make mistakes, forget words, and sometimes even misuse grammar. So for most everyday situations, a B2 level speaker can already accomplish many things, all right? So what are the characteristics of good English speakers? In order for you to be considered a good English speaker, what characteristics do you have to have? First of all, I would say clarity. Clarity. People get what you're saying. People understand what you're saying. That's the first point. You have clear pronunciation. It's okay to have an accent. We all have accents, okay? But the accent here is not the issue. It's your pronunciation. Do you have clear pronunciation? Is it easy for people to understand what you're saying? That's clarity. Also, it's about using words and grammar correctly enough that your message comes across or is understood. Notice that I'm saying using grammar and words correctly enough so that your message is understood. So a B2 level speaker still makes mistakes quite frequently, I would say. That's why we can call a B2 level speaker fluent with mistakes, because the level of mistakes that learner makes when speaking is usually still high, okay? But the difference is that at this level, if you are a solid B2 speaker, the mistakes you make will mostly be minor mistakes, mistakes that don't really interfere with the communication of your message. Those are fine. Yes, you should fix them eventually and get rid of them, but they are okay because they don't really interfere with your communication. Now, if you still make mistakes that interfere with your message, then we have a problem, and then you really have to mind those mistakes. But if you are a solid B2 speaker, the mistakes you make will be minor things like prepositions, for example, or maybe the conjugation of a verb here that wasn't really necessary to pronounce it in the past, for example. Via the context, you can be understood, okay? So that's clarity. Also, confidence. That's another characteristic of a good English speaker. You don't get hung up on little mistakes. You don't obsess over little mistakes. You keep talking, even if you stumble a bit, even if you struggle a little bit, you keep talking, okay? That's the mark of a good speaker who is at a B2 level. It's also about having active listening, okay? You engage in conversations, you ask questions and respond thoughtfully. You operate well. A B2 level speaker who is at a solid B2 level operates very well in most situations. I have worked with many people in the past who were at this level, and we had no problem at all communicating. Yeah, and they were great. They operated very well. They did their jobs very well with a B2 level of English. Okay? It's also about adaptability. You can adjust your English to different situations. You can be more formal when the situation calls for it. You can be more informal. You can use your English for work settings, for social settings, making friends and stuff like that. Okay? And of course, you have some cultural awareness already at this level. You understand that English is spoken differently in different places, and you respect those differences as well. Let me give you one example here just to illustrate this, because, even though I love advanced English, guys, for most everyday situation, you don't need to use super crazy advanced vocabulary. Check this out. Instead of saying, it is incumbent upon us to ameliorate our communication skills, why not saying, we need to improve how we talk to each other? You see the difference? Again, the first option here is super advanced, right? It is incumbent upon us to ameliorate our communication skills. Who talks like that in real life? Now, we need to improve how we talk to each other. What's the problem with that? It's clear, it's direct, it's straightforward. You see? So use the KISS principle. KISS in this context here, I'm going to say that it stands for keep it simple, speaker. Okay? Keep it simple. Yeah? Keep your communication simple. At the end of the day, what matters is you being able to deliver your message in a clear way, people being able to understand your message. And also, of course, you want to be able to understand other people. Okay? That's communication. All right? Now, let me add a little caveat here. Okay? And also say and talk a little bit about the benefits of reaching higher levels. Because, of course, guys, I love advanced English and I am all about increasing your level to more advanced levels of proficiency. I want you to get to C1, C2 type of English, okay? As a serious English teacher, I would never tell you to stop at B2. Ever, okay? I would never tell you as a teacher, hey guys, you know what? Stop at B2. Stop there. It's enough for you. I will never tell you this. What I'm trying to tell you here in this episode is that you don't need a super crazy advanced level of English to be already considered a good speaker of the language. A B2 level already brings you many great things, okay? But as a serious teacher, I want to encourage you to keep going, to not stop there, okay? Once you become a solid B2 speaker, start studying more C1 language, become more of a C1 type of English user. Once you become a solid C1 speaker, play with some C2 stuff as well. Learn some C2 vocabulary. Get in touch with very advanced words. This is excellent. The learning should never stop, okay? But my point here is B2 is already enough for most everyday conversations, okay? But I'm not going to tell you to stop there, okay? Having said that, there are benefits to reaching higher levels of proficiency. And there are reasons why you might not want to stop at B2 and you want to go for C1 or even C2 levels. For example, more nuanced expression, advanced English, and I'm talking about C1, C2 levels here, okay? Advanced English lets you discuss complex ideas with greater precision and understand subtleties in meaning. Maybe at B2, you might be able to understand a lecture on a complex topic, but you won't be able to understand all the subtleties, all the nuances of what the speaker is saying, okay? If you have a more advanced level of English, you will appreciate the content much more and on a deeper level, okay? So more nuanced expression. Another benefit has to do with work, some career advantages as well. In some fields of work, a high level of English proficiency is a major asset, okay? A major benefit, all right? So depending on your profession, your field of work, striving for C1, C2 level can be that thing that sets you apart, okay? And obviously, I would say personal growth. Okay, learning a language is a journey of self-improvement. It challenges you and opens up new perspectives. So be a lifelong learner. Understand and celebrate the fact that you are already at a B2 level, and that level is awesome. You can already communicate effectively. You can do many things with your English, but don't stop there and keep aiming higher. Okay? I want to close this episode, guys, with some actionable advice for you. So don't be afraid to speak. Practice makes perfect. Find conversation partners or online language exchange groups, or join conversation clubs like my conversation club, for example, which is starting tomorrow, by the way. Focus on your strengths. Are you good at storytelling? Focus more on that. Tell stories. Are you good at explaining things clearly? Do people always tell you that you explain things very clearly? Leverage that. Play to those strengths, okay? Are you more of a listener? Maybe you are a very good listener. People feel heard when they talk to you, so leverage that as well. You can be a good English speaker and a good communicator without having to speak so much. Because remember, communication is about connection, connecting with others and interacting with others, okay? Learn from your mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Use mistakes as learning opportunities, okay? Enjoy the process. Obviously, I talk about this all the time here on the podcast. Learning English, for most of the time, should be fun. Most of the time, okay? I don't believe that English or learning English should be fun all the time. I think that there are some boring stuff that we have to do if we really want to go to the highest levels of proficiency. But for the most part, learning English should be fun. So watch movies, read books, listen to music, your favorite music in English, And one final comment about not stopping at B2 and going for higher levels, C1 and C2. Yes, keep learning, but for the right reasons. Do it because you're curious and passionate about English and you want to explore specific interests, not because you want to show off. That is the wrong motivation. Don't think to yourself, I want to be a C1 level speaker or I want to get a C2 level certificate just to show off. No, I want to get there because I want to push myself. I want to learn new stuff. I love this language. I'm curious about English. I'll keep studying. I'll keep developing. Okay? So guys, here are some closing thoughts for this episode. Remember, good English is about connecting with people, sharing your ideas, and understanding others. Don't let the pursuit of perfection hold you back. Be confident in your B2 skills. Embrace the characteristics of good communication and keep practicing. But of course, keep developing yourself as well and aim for higher levels of proficiency that will only bring benefits to you as an English speaker. So aim eventually at C1 and C2 levels, because you are curious, you are passionate about the language, and you want to keep growing. So now I have a question for you to close this episode. What do you think makes a good English speaker? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel and follow the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The registrations for our Conversation Club close officially tonight at midnight BRT. So if you want to learn more and if you want to join, you still have time. Link in the description and also in the show notes. And also check out my pronunciation course and how it can help you improve your English speech. All the links are in the show notes and in the description of the video here on YouTube. Guys, I hope you found it useful, this conversation today and this episode about what good English is. Thank you very much. I'm Thiago. I'm signing off, and I'll be talking to you very soon in the upcoming video. Bye-bye.